What's up, everyone? I know I'm not super consistent on this channel, but the one thing I do every year is my top 10 movies of the year. I haven't missed it yet since I started doing these YouTube videos. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, but I am excited to talk about this year. There have been a lot of great movies this year. Some people may have said that it sucked or this was not a good year for film, but I don't agree with that. I think there was a lot of great choices, and I think this was actually really hard to narrow it down to my top 10. Actually, I would say my top 5 was pretty secure, pretty locked in, but the bottom 5 I feel like could be swapped out at any moment once I rewatch some of these movies more often. Before I start, my usual disclaimer: this is my list of favorite movies. If a movie you love is not on this list, either I didn't get to watch it before the end of the year, or I just didn't like it as much as you. But if you love that movie, great for you. And now, honorable mentions. I try to narrow this down as much as possible, but it's basically another list of 10 movies, so I'm just gonna rattle them off. I'm not gonna talk about them. Maybe next year I'll be able to really narrow it down to like 5 or less, but until then, here are my honorable mentions. And this is in no particular order: Black Bag, Freaky Tales, Thunderbolts, Superman, Sorry Baby, Bob Trevino Likes It, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, Lurker, Clown in a Cornfield, Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain. Some of these movies almost made it into my top 10, but they got just edged out by the movies that are there, and you'll see why. But I am excited to get into my top 10. So, without further ado, number 10, On Becoming a Guinea Fowl. This was a movie that was not on my radar at the beginning of the year, but I heard a lot of good things about it from other people who I know who've seen it. And so when I went to see it myself, I was blown away. This is both a very dark movie, but there's still a lot of quirkiness and humor to it. I won't get into the details. I think it's better if you experience the story without knowing what's actually happening, but it deals a lot with family secrets, with social dynamics. Now, what gave this movie the edge to make it into my top 10 is it has one of the biggest aha moments from watching a movie I had this year. There's a part where the characters are watching a nature documentary, and this nature documentary is sort of explaining how the guinea fowl relates to what's going on. And for me, that's like a mind blown moment, like, oh, it all makes sense now. And it's stuck with me ever since. Number 9, Materialist. Now, this one I feel like I'm getting a lot of flack for. I remember the group I saw this with, DC Movie Club, shout out. A lot of them did not like it, and I feel like I'm in the minority here. I did really enjoy it. It did sort of remind me of Hitch, but from the other perspective. I thought the cast worked together really well. I thought the chemistry was there. The dating commentary, I feel like, did work for me. I know it didn't work for a lot of people, but I feel like I understood what Celine Song was trying to say with this movie. Now, all criticism of movies is subjective, really. And so I think your experience and your views of dating will affect how you like this movie. For me, it worked. I do want to give a special shout out to Zoe Winters, who plays one of Lucy, played by Dakota Johnson's clients. I think she has one of the strongest performances of the movie, and her story, I think, goes in a really compelling direction. And again, it might not work for everybody, but this movie worked for me. Number 8, Marty Supreme. I really went back and forth. I'm like, do I want to put this on here? I feel like it's so recent. Can I really say it's one of the best movies of the year? I've only seen it once, but it's one of those movies you just keep thinking about. It's by Josh Safdie without his brother Benny. They both had separate movies this year, and I think his movie is definitely the better one. Timothy Chalamet gives one of the best performances of the year, hands down. It is a stressful movie, but again, I don't feel like I was through the roof stressful. I felt the same way about Uncut Gems. I think they're sort of in the same level of stress, but there are some crazy moments that happen in this movie for sure. The supporting cast is also really strong. Odessa Azion, she's really great as Rachel. Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank gives a really strong performance. Gwyneth Paltrow, I mean, everybody in this movie is killing it. The cinematography is great, especially with the ping pong matches, and the themes I think are really well done. I definitely think this movie that will get better with more watches. So that's why I didn't want to put it high on this list, because I feel like it could change as I watch it more, but I definitely wanted to shout it out because it is definitely one of the best movies of the year. Number 7, One Battle After Another. Now, fun fact, this was only my second PTA movie I've seen, the first one being Licorice Pizza. And while I was not super into Licorice Pizza, I like parts of it, I did actually have a pretty good time with this one. It's a long movie, but it does not feel like it at all. I think it actually has some of the best editing of the year. It just flies by. It's also a great ensemble. Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity with her debut role does really good. Sean Penn plays a menacing but goofy villain. Benicio del Toro has one of the best supporting performances of the year for sure. Regina Hall is also really good in this movie. She's known a lot for comedy stuff, but I think she really kills it in this dramatic role. I think this just has a little bit of everything. When I first saw it, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be like my top movies of the year. But now that we're at the end and looking back, I'm like, okay, yeah, this was all around one of the better movies of the year for sure. Number 6, Begonia. A couple years ago, Poor Things was my favorite movie of that year, and so I was really looking forward to seeing what Yorgos Lanthimos was going to do next. I liked Kinds of Kindness, but I didn't like it nearly as much as Poor Things. This movie had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Jesse Plemons is insane in this movie. He's super menacing, but you'll see where he's coming from. His cousin is also a really endearing character, and his relationship with Jesse Plemons' character, I think, is one of the best parts of the movie. Emma Stone is also amazing as the CEO who's being kidnapped. The whole movie kind of had me guessing, like, is she playing along just to get out of there? Is she actually an alien? You don't really know until the very end. They do give you a definitive answer, but I love the back and forth between them. There's some really heavy stuff in this movie, some really jaw-dropping stuff. Some people might think this movie is kind of mean-spirited, which I could kind of see, but for what they're going for, I think it really works, and it's still stuck in my head from seeing it in the theater. Number 5, It Was Just an Accident. There are a lot of movies this year that had a lot of award type coming into the fall because they played at festivals and overseas. And so when it comes to those movies, I'm kind of on the fence. Sometimes they do live up to the hype, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's it. This is one of those movies that actually lived up to the hype for me. I had a great time watching this. I love the character dynamics, the back and forth of these characters deciding to do what to do with this man who they think is the person that tortured them in captivity. The political commentary is on point. The ethics discussion is on point. I have to also give a huge shout out to the director Jafar Panahi, who continues to make movies despite the Iranian government telling him he can't. Number 4, Weapons. Zach Cregger knocked it out of the park with his debut film Barbarian, and Weapons is right up there with it. If you've seen my other top 10 videos before, you know I like nonlinear stories, and this does it, again, really well. I love the character dynamics here, the mystery of what happened to these kids. I love every little revelation that happens with each character's perspective. I just had a really great time with this movie. It's gory, it's creepy, it's funny at times. It's got a little bit of everything. I'm super excited to see what Zach Cregger does next. I believe actually he's working on another Resident Evil reboot, so hopefully that's really good. Number 3, Sinners. Now, I'm sure this one's gonna be number 1 on a lot of people's list. And I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I really did like it, but I was not sure, like, is it really that great? Like, I'm trying to think about it. But then again, I thought about it more, and then I rewatched it during Halloween, and it worked so much more the second watch. Everything held up so well. I love the performances, the commentary, the music, the direction, the cinematography. There's so much great stuff in it. Michael B. Jordan gives one of the best dual roles of the year, and trust me, there are a lot of them. I will be talking about that potentially in a future video. And the supporting cast is also really strong. I didn't get to catch it in 70mm, but I might have another chance in the coming year, so hopefully I get to do that, because this is one of the best looking movies of the year, and it's one of the best movies overall of the year. Number 2, Twinless. This is one of the bigger surprises of the year for me. I heard about it vaguely because I remember there's a story about some of it being leaked online during one of the festivals, but once I watched it, it is easily one of my favorite movies of the year. At first, I thought this was going to be a standard drama about two people coming together, becoming friends because of their shared grief of people they've lost, but there's something about this movie that they somehow did not put in the marketing at all, which these days is super impressive. Once that thing happens, this movie becomes so much more interesting than that. James Sweeney kills it, especially in both the directing and the acting. Dylan O'Brien is someone I've been following since his days on Teen Wolf on MTV, and I've loved a lot of stuff that he's in. I think he's definitely one of the best actors we have right now, and he absolutely kills it, again, in a dual role. He has a lot of layers to his character, and his dynamics with everybody involved is really well done. I think overall, actually, this is one of the best ensembles of the year. If you have not seen it yet, please go find it. Unfortunately, it's not, as of right now, getting a physical release, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be on any streaming service anytime soon. So if you can rent it, for sure rent it. Hopefully somebody like Criterion or one of the other third-party distributors picks up to become a Blu-ray or a 4K, but it's easily one of my favorite movies of the year. I was so invested in these characters. The story is crazy. You do not want to miss it. And number 1. Now, this is one of the years where I watched this movie and immediately I'm like, okay, I think this might be my favorite movie of the year. It came actually very early in the year, so that's very bold of me to say. But as I went through this year and I watched all these big movies, all the movies that were getting a lot of praise and a lot of hype, this movie was still in my head like, no, I love this movie so much. And so I think very early on I knew this was going to be my number 1. So, number 1, Presence. Steven Soderbergh had a crazy year. He released so many movies, like, we do not have the same 24 hours, because what was that man doing? But He has killed it multiple times this year, but I especially love Presence. It is an extremely unique horror movie. If you don't know, it's a movie from the perspective of a ghost haunting a house. I love how they give this ghost so much character just from camera movement, from the way they interact with different things in the room. Kalina Lang as the daughter who mainly interacts with the ghost, she's really good. And Chris Sullivan as the dad, I think is one of the best movie dads of the year for sure. He's super supportive, super understanding. I did not know what direction this movie was going to go in, and again, the ending had my jaw on the floor. Easily one of my favorite movie experiences of the year. I'm so glad I got to watch it in a theater. It's on Hulu right now if you've not seen it yet. Again, may not be for everybody, but it's my favorite horror movie of the year and my favorite movie overall for 2025. So, what were your favorite movies of the year? Let me know down in the comments. Do you think my list is crazy? Also, let me know down in the comments. I do have an idea for another top 10 for 2025. I'll probably do that in January. But until then, have a great new year, and I'll see you in the next one.